Hello and welcome to today's episode of Spec Steppin, where we are stepping through the Web API spec. And in today's demo, we're going to cover the Clipboard API. Now, the Clipboard API is an interesting API in that it gives us a little bit of desktop application flavor on the web. So it allows us to be able to access the user's clipboard. So if they copy something, we can access that and paste it wherever we need. So we can actually have that copy paste functionality that's on their local clipboard in our web app. So let's go ahead and first let me switch over to what I usually show, the MDN docs. They're great documentation. So this Clipboard API, like I explained, ability to respond to clipboard commands, copy and paste, cut, all that sort of good stuff that people are used to when working with docs in their local environment. Now we can do it on the web. So this goes through and shows examples and stuff on how to do it. So I would always recommend going to the docs and reading up on what's current with them. Okay, now let's go ahead and jump back here to the code. So the HTML is pretty simple as far as I just have a header. I just have one div that has a paragraph that you can copy. So just some text there. And so that's hard coded, as you can see, with the paragraph tag, but you could probably do it with, a text area or whatever that the person could type into. And here I have a text area, so I can put my cursor in there. I can click the paste button and it'll paste it in there. So we can paste the content in there. Now, one thing that we'll note, because we're accessing the local clipboard, the browser should ask the end user, unless they've given permission to do it already, it should ask the end user, hey, do you want to allow this web app to access your clipboard? Okay. And then the styles aren't anything fancy. I just have styles to make it look pretty. So let me jump back over here. And I'm actually going to open up my console so we can see it here. So here's what I built. So I just have a this paragraph text. I'm going to click this copy button, which will copy it. And then I'm going to click in here and I'm going to paste it. Okay. So let me show you how that's done. So I'm going to click copy text. It says text copied to clipboard, and I have a console log text successfully copied. I'm going to click in there. I'm going to paste it, and I pasted the text right there. Now, it did not ask me for permission to access the clipboard because I already said yes to it. But when you do this on your own, it'll ask you that. And text was pasted from the clipboard successfully in there. So let's jump back to the code and see how this works, because all this magic happens in here. So here, for example, I have the typical, if you've watched any of my videos, this is a typical pattern for me. I load all the content once the DOM has been loaded. That way I don't get any undefined errors. Typical practice I do. Then I'm grabbing all the pieces of the DOM here. I grab the copy button, I grab the text to copy, I grab the paste button, I grab the paste area and a status message, which was at the bottom of the screen. So then this copy button and that copy button is right here. So I added an event listener that's a click. So first I make sure that, even though this is a pretty widely accepted one, so if I go down to browser compatibility here, you can see it's in all the modern browsers, but it's probably, especially since you don't know exactly what browser your end user is going to be using. I know in my environment this wouldn't be an issue, but it's pretty good practice just to check to see if that functionality exists. That way you can have a graceful fallback position in your code for the end user. So I'm just checking to see if the clipboard actually exists. If it doesn't, so I'm using my Bane here. If it doesn't exist, then I just change the status message, Clipboard API not supported by your browser, down at the bottom here. That is this text right down here. Okay. So then I'm just doing a simple try catch wrapped up for error handling, and I grab the text. So text to copy, I grab that text out of there, and then Clipboard has this write text method. So I go in the navigator, the Clipboard object. Write text basically is similar to the copy. So holding down Control or Command, depending on if you're Windows or Mac, C or it's probably C because it doesn't cut it, but X was copies too. It just cuts it off the page, and copies it to clipboard. So, but this copies it to the clipboard, that text, and then I'm just changing the status message to say it was done and log into the console. Otherwise, I get an error message. And then reading, when I click the paste button, which is this button down here that you saw me click. First, again, I'm checking to make sure that the clipboard exists as a functionality. Otherwise, what I'm doing is I'm calling this read text method, which all that does is goes and grabs the text off of the clipboard. And then I'm storing it in this text constant, and the paste area value I'm making equal to the text. So, and then I just changed the status message in console log. So it's pretty simple actually to do this, to access the clipboard, do copy and paste. So if you're building an application that has some sort of text editing functionality in it, and you want to give the ability to do some copy and paste right in there, you can definitely do that. And it works. So if I do this, so what I did was I highlighted that. I hit Command C. I'm on a Mac. I hit Command C, and then I went here and clicked paste text. If I do it with something else, Command C, come in here, and I'm just going to get rid of that. And I can Command V, boom, it's right there. I can copy it right in, but I can also provide the button functionality for a better UX experience. So a pretty simple API, but yet could add some neat functionality to a text-driven application that has some of the text editing functionality in it. So if you have any questions, let me know. And if not, happy stepping.